Hmm. Okay, where are we at? Yeah, I'll just put this out here on air now. Remember. All right, let's see what we're doing here. We got 2 viewers, that's good. Let me get the banner off. The chat open. And the toolbox, and turn the banner off. All right. Close that out. Open that up. All right, welcome live to the 9 o'clock broadcast. If you're joining for the first time, go ahead and activate your microphone and camera. And what this is basically just a bull session. There's not really any instructional thing going on here. It's just kind of talk about whatever you want to talk about and show us your work. We've had some pretty good results with it, where we've had 5 or 6 guys in, and if I continue to do this, if this seems to be a valid thing, we'll keep going with this. What I'm working on tonight is painted up my airplane. Let me move the camera a little bit. There we go. Now I've agreed to do these for an hour. They have been running 2 hours because we've had people come in, but if nobody comes in, I'm only going to run it for an hour. Like I say, try to talk for an hour straight by yourself with nothing to talk about and see how you do. So I'm just tinkering with this airplane now. I'm trying to kind of figure out. There's really not a paint layout for it. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. Let me turn the chat on so I can see if somebody's talking. Yeah. Okay, so if you want to chat, you type in the chat box. I can see it, but it's very difficult to see. It's better if you just turn on the cam and mic and start talking. Anyway. Let me move this around. what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to do a little inking. I'm going to ink those back panels and of course I inked up all the letters back here and the lines here and these two yellow stripes. I got to figure out how to tie the yellow into the front here yet. But before we start inking, I'm going to card off the stripe. It's still at 54 ounces. Here comes somebody. Daryl.
Hey, Spark. How's it going, man?
Yeah, pretty good. This is Daryl from Canada. For you guys who are not on the not in the chat, who don't know who he is. He's a guy who's been following my channel now for what, about 6 months?
Yeah, around that, yep.
But not a member of the forum. Now he's a member of the forum too, so he's an RC guy, but you gotta take a little bit. He'll get converted real good to control line here.
Well, control lines where it all started for me. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. It's probably rubber powered.
Well, what do you think?
She's looking pretty smart, that airplane. Gonna be it. Now you gotta clear coat that yet, eh?
Oh yeah, I gotta ink it, and I'm gonna put some yellow and some white on it yet, and some lettering and panel lines and stuff.
I figured I'd be building again tonight too, but I am still working on engines.
I almost didn't run this Hangout tonight, but I gotta do it with some regularity.
What's that?
The Hangouts. I want to get people used to coming on at 9.
Yeah.
I just don't feel all that great tonight.
Oh no, you got a bug or?
I don't know. Kind of tired. I didn't sleep well.
No, that'll do it. Suppose you kept working after you signed off last night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you don't get this far on these airplanes by just working 15 minutes at a time.
Oh. Yeah, you get that right. That's amazing how fast the time passes when you get into it.
I put a year's work into this airplane in the last month and a half.
The advantages of retirement.
Yeah. I think I'd rather have the money.
Yeah. Well, I'm saving, putting money away for retirement. I've probably got another 6, 7 years before I have to worry about that.
Well, as soon as I can go back to work, I'm going to go back to work I figure I got another 15 or 20 years left in me.
Let's hope so.
Or I mean, to work. My dad worked till he was 90.
Wow. Your dad used to own a hobby shop?
Yeah. When I was a kid, my dad was a mechanic for Sears. And then we got a swimming pool, and he opened a pool supply store. Well, my mother didn't have nothing to do, and I was into airplanes. So he decided he'd buy her a hobby shop. So they knocked out the wall and put a hobby shop next to the pool store.
Nice.
Well, that went on for, quite a few years. And when I went in service, he decided he'd open a tavern. So they siphoned 10% off the top on that business and opened a tavern up in Palm Springs and closed the hobby shop down and moved to the desert.
Moving to the desert. It was the last, year before last, I went through the Mojave Desert. I was in the truck. And I stopped and I got out, and it's like, whew, never experienced heat like that before.
Well, I've seen it as hot as 131 in the shade. It's a different kind of heat than what we got here.
Yeah. Yeah, I looked up, where does they say you live, in Pennsylvania?
No, Missouri.
Missouri.
Pennsylvania is where Brodax is. Carmichael.
Oh, right.
How far is it?
Missouri?
No, Pennsylvania for you. How far is it? I want to see if I can get you to go to Brodax next year.
That would be about 5 days. If I went real hard, I could probably do it in 3.
So you're on the left coast.
Yes, we're in the west. Yeah. Western Canada. Alberta is kind of like your Texas. It's oil country here.
You could make it to the Northwest Regionals.
Probably, yeah.
Eugene, Oregon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've been there a couple of times now. Not to the regionals, but to Oregon.
Years ago, I used to live in Eugene. I was Eugene prop spinner.
Nice country around there.
The water is the best water in the country.
Oh, really?
Well, actually, Seattle has good water too.
Yeah, I was there year before last. I went through there on the bike. Yeah. She's a little different atmosphere there and through the west coast than there is through Montana and Utah.
I'm still debating how I want to do this. What the hell did I just do with that rag? Let's go there.
You print all these off, and they just stick to your airframe, and then you spray them, eh?
Yeah.
That's the same as I did before with the shoestring.
Yep.
I watched that. I watched you build that one.
got a plotter, a sign cutter, you know, stencil cutter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
most what you do can be applied to any model airplane.
if I wanted to put this on, it would take less than 10 minutes to get on there, but I just want to make sure that I'm doing the right sequence because I don't know if I want to put yellow in it or not.
Yellow?
Yeah. Problem I'm having, I really didn't do a great job on a substrate, and I got some problems with it lifting. So I don't want to get too crazy. That's why I inked the bottom lines instead of painting them.
I've yet to try that carding.
What's that?
I've yet to try that carding.
It just knocks the edge off.
Yeah,
You can use double or triple aught silk or steel wool too.
yeah, I've heard a guy throwing it out. Carding seems to be a little more direct.
Pardon me?
The carding seems more direct.
Yeah, they work about the same.
Oh, really? I should try them both, I guess. I gotta stop screwing around with engines first, I suppose. I did this to clean up a mess, and now I can't, it's just everything buried. But with the weather we're having here, there's not much else to do.
I need to cut a stencil before I put that on too. Shit.
How you guys been doing for weather?
Well, it didn't rain here. I haven't had to test out my roof, but about 94, I guess it was today.
94?
Yeah, about 3,000% humidity.
Boy. Yeah, in Fahrenheit today we might have hit maybe 60, 62 at best. Wonder if anybody else will be joining in tonight.
I don't know. We'll probably just run until 10 o'clock. Like I said, I don't feel all that great tonight.
Yeah, a bad night's sleep can mess up your next day pretty easy.
But I want to make a regular deal out of it, so I'm here at least at 9 o'clock for at least an hour.
Yeah, that's actually I enjoy it myself.
I see 7 people watching this and 2 in the conversation. So if you're watching this live and you'd like to join us, go to Stunt Hanger and look for the 9 o'clock Hangout. Click the link. Then you're going to have to accept the terms and turn your camera on. I believe you have to have a Google browser to join the chat.
Yeah, you need that Google Hangout and Google Plus. it gives you a link to join what you need to join when you click on the browser.
Well, because of the website, I already had, you know, all that stuff, so I didn't have to do any of that. I'm gonna have to touch up this flap.
What happened?
I don't know. That's something that won't come off there.
I love when I'm not that fussy with them yet because I'm still trying to get them.
Well, I'd like to get at least 18 points out of it at the Nationals, and if you have to kind of pay attention, you know, to the airplane. 18 to 19 points is about doable. I don't know how some of the guys get 20 points because I judged the appearance points at the Nationals this year, and if you go look at all the airplanes, you know, there's probably 50 airplanes, and they're all, you know, about 90% of them or 80% of them really nice, really nicely done. And the progression ranges from 19 to, you know, 13 points. But to get that extra point, the 20 points, it has to be perfect. And I've built a lot of airplanes in my life, and I don't know how, you know, Gene Martin has got a 20-pointer, and Phil Granderson got a 20-pointer. You know, I'm naming them off the top of my head. Wendy's got a 20-pointer. Those airplanes have to be super spectacular, and I know what it takes to get 19 points because I've been on the front row, you know, quite a few times with 19 points. I don't know how they do it.
Wouldn't have anything to do with who they are.
What's that?
Wouldn't have anything to do with who they are.
No. It really doesn't have any. I mean, especially when I judged appearance points this year. As they came through the door, I was grading them as I was setting them onto the basketball court. And I went through them in about an hour and 15 minutes or so. About 50 airplanes. And I had, you know, two other guys helping me that are both really good builders and finishers. And we only had to move about 5 airplanes that I kind of misguessed, but, you know, we really had to look at them. But I've been building so long, I can look at an airplane and tell you what it's worth. Pretty close, you know.
Yeah.
So I just graded them from the best to the worst, and then as they were in the rows, then assigned point. I didn't care about points. Just the best one was number on, you know, left-hand side, number 1, and it snaked back and forth until we got to the last guy. And I know what it takes, and I don't know how anybody can build a 20-pointer. I think there was 5 or 6 on the front row this year, 19 points, and then 18 points, and 17, so on and so forth. Because part of the problem with that front row is in order to get there, you have to add so much paint in order to get that shine. It kills your airplane's performance and you're out of the game. So you either have a really good looking model and a mediocre flying airplane, or a really good flying airplane and a mediocre looking model. So what the guys do, Bill Werwage and Paul Walker and Brett Buck and, all the top guys, they try to at least get 17 points, 17 to 19, and that's a good spot. You're not too far off the mark then.
Yeah, I have a lead sled.
Because if you're one of them top flyers and you only get 13 appearance points, you might as well go home because you ain't gonna make it up.
Well, your appearance points is a big part of your competition, it seems.
No, it's really the deciding factor on the score in open anyway, because the scores run so close, they're within a third of a point of each other, from 20th to first might be only 10 or 15 points difference, but between the top five, they're only a third of a point off. So if you give up 2 points on appearance, you're never going to make it up on the back end. Never.
So in the end, it's a combination. Your appearance, your flying, your everything, eh?
Yeah, we don't fly under FAI. FAI rules are, the open rules where the appearance doesn't matter. Here in the United States, we have the builder of the model rule, meaning that if you're going to fly an open age class category, you have to be the builder of the model. Now they watered that builder of the model rule down so much that, yeah, you have to be the builder of the model, but you're allowed to have 1 or 2 parts from somebody else and somebody, when I grew up and started doing this, it was build your own from scratch. Who do we got here?
Lyle.
Hey, Lyle, how you doing?
I'm doing okay now that I figured out how to get in on this thing.
Oh, great. How do you get in on it?
I had a fun Hangouts on I thought I did Google Plus, but I needed Hangouts, and I couldn't figure out. I don't ever use it, so I didn't know how to use it.
Well, that's good. If you're on the forum, type how they can get on the forum, because nobody can figure it out.
Yeah, well, I got it figured out now, it looks like.
Yeah, I see you. I just was explaining appearance points. This is Daryl from Canada, and they fly under FAI rules, and I just was explaining the builder of the model rule and appearance points, how the Americans do it here.
Yeah. Where in Canada are you from?
Alberta.
Alberta. Oh boy, cold country.
Yep.
I was up in Bristol once, or wherever Bristol Aerospace is, someplace up there in the North Country. Froze my ass in the dead of winter.
That's what we do here in the dead of winter.
Right.
Yeah, that's why we go to places like Florida and Hawaii. And
Hang out at Parky's house.
Yeah. Well, Lyle, what do you think of the airplane?
I think it's a work of art, man. If I had the building skills that you did, I think the only way I'll do it is I gotta drive over to your house and park my car in your driveway with a mattress and sleep in it and just spend every day with you learning all this stuff.
How old are you?
How old am I? I just had my 69th birthday last Monday.
Yeah, we're not too far off. It's but I consider myself a kid,
Why? It's just a number, man.
Yeah. I'm a kid compared to my 93-year-old dad.
There you go. Well, my mom made it to 92, so I figured I got some time to go yet. As long as I can keep flying, I'll be a happy boy.
You're from New Jersey?
No, I'm actually up in Albany, New York, near Bill Hummel.
Oh, okay.
He's my flying buddy, but I go down to the Garden State Circle Burners whenever I can.
So you see Danny Manjock all the time then.
Well, now and then I see him because I don't know how often he goes to the Garden State Circle Burners. He's a little south of there.
Did you hear it? Did you hear that Rich Gacabone had a stroke?
No, when did that happen?
It's been about 2 weeks now, and I'm trying to find out a little more information.
Oh my goodness, I had no idea. I got to talk to Hummel about that. I saw him at Brodax. He looked good. I was talking to him and everything. Wow. Oh, how sad is that?
My dad had a stroke, and it kind of fucked up his speaking a little bit, and that's all. His motor skills aren't bad. From what I heard, Gacabone is done. He's out of it.
No. Oh, how sad. Oh, you really made my sadness. Wowee.
Well, I'm sorry, but
Wow. That's so sad. I'm really just broke up over that. He was such a nice man. I always talked to him whenever I got to see him, and we'd go to the swap meet. He'd come down every, Thanksgiving, just before the Thanksgiving for their swap meet. Yes.
yeah, it's not good.
So nothing got posted did I miss a posting about it? Well, nothing got posted.
It was posted on the internet. That's how I knew on Sun Hangers. That's how I found out.
Oh, I must have missed it. Wow. Oh, how sad.
And I just was trying to find out. I forgot. I got his phone number, but if he had a stroke, I don't know who to talk to. I don't know his wife, so I'm gonna wait to talk to. Oh shit! Now I can't think of his name.
Peabody, no.
Huh?
Peabody, no.
Peabody's down in Florida.
Yeah, but he probably talks to those guys all the time.
Will tomorrow. That's who I'm waiting to talk to.
Yeah, yeah. And I saw the thing you're going to have the phone interview with Wendy. Wendy would be right up on top of that.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to get all the phone interview won't happen for a week or so. Wendy's agreed to do it.
Yeah.
But
I'm just saying, Wendy might, if you're in touch with Wendy, he'll know all what's going on with Jacobone.
Yeah, I'm gonna find out.
Wow, that's the saddest news.
Gacabone's been my friend for a lot of years now. I mean, we're not.
Well, I was really down when I found out that Dave Cook passed, because I was good buddies with Dave Cook and that crowd. I go over there. Actually, I'm going over there this weekend to Rentham. They got their Mass Cup meet in Rentham Sunday of Labor Day weekend.
Now, John DeTavio, when
Yeah.
when we go to Brodak, I always kind of, I like talking to them old guys that are 90 years old.
Yeah.
I always talk to him, and he was cool, and I was kind of sad when he's gone. And
I know.
I put Bob Giske in the ground. I'm the guy who,
Yeah. I know him well.
I went to Illinois there and put him in Allen Brickhouse.
Oh wow. Yep. I was friends with John, and in fact, I took a picture, him and me, side by side at one of the swap meets. The last time that he went to the swap meet, I got a good picture of him and me. He was a character right to the end.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wow.
I like listening to Larry Scarinzi when I'm there. He's
He's a hoot. He's a real hoot.
yeah.
I'm gonna go to their. I'm planning to go down to their classic combat thing. I went last year, and actually I've been trying to get myself a combat wing together to go down there. I'm scratch building the raunchy, one of Mear's raunchies.
Yeah.
I had a raunchy back in the day when it first got published. In fact, I got the original plan from Model Airplane News. Hey, do you have any updates about what's going on with flying models? Because if you looked in model aviation, the guy who's trying to resurrect it in one of the, and I hardly read my model aviation except when I'm sitting on the crapper, and I was flipping through it, and I found that he writes a column, and in the column he said that I'm getting ready, be on the watch for when I'm going to get flying models back up.
But that's been going on for 2 years now.
I know, but there it is right in model aviation. The guy put in his own column that he's getting close.
Well, I was supposed to take over as the editor of Control Line World, but when I found out how many paid subscribers there was, and then Nikki wrote me a letter stating that she couldn't be the editor anymore. We're just done. It's retired. After the last issue of Control Line World, it's done.
Why couldn't they just make it an online thing, an email, and don't have to do all the printing and mailing bullshit?
Well, that's what I was going to do.
Yeah.
But it's a whole lot more work than you think.
I'm sure it is.
You know, I had Control Line Craftsman website.
Yep.
I can't keep up with everything, so I've decided that I'm just going to do the YouTube and Stunt Hanger and try to make the best of it. And I kind of turned over the Control Line Craftsman to Dane.
Yeah.
He hasn't done anything with it.
Yeah. Well, it takes a commitment. I mean, no matter what. And we can't be a one-man band.
Well, you wouldn't believe how much I put into this website to get it to where it is today.
I'm sure.
Well, it's certainly the king of all the controlling websites, that's for sure.
Well, there's Stuka Stunt.
Yeah. Yeah, I peeked at it, but I never really...
Well, I'll tell you, I look at yours probably once or twice a day at least, and I don't know if I go to his once a week.
I used to go there every day. I haven't been there this year. I'm too involved with what I'm doing here.
Of course. Of course.
And now that I've taken on this video thing, it's really tough.
Yeah.
It is so hard to put out an hour's worth of content every day. That's one of the reasons why we've come up with this, Hangout.
Well, I think the Hangout's great, man. I mean, if I'm sitting here and I've got the time and I'd rather do this than watch some dumbass thing on TV that's not worth watching, I could watch this. This is the next best thing to me clicking my heels and being at your house.
Well, it's pretty close. I mean, I figured that if I did this, if the guys had a question, they could show me and I could give them the answer, because it's very...
Well, I can figure out how to use this thing first. And then, honestly, I got so much shit going on in my life, I haven't really touched my airplanes all season. About a month ago, I had a incident, I should say, where I was driving home from having gone flying, had my crap in the car, my airplanes, everything, and I'm flying home from the field in Lee, Massachusetts, where we fly, and some guy crashed me on the toll lane trying to get on the highway. Guy was towing a big-ass motorboat behind his big-ass pickup truck.
Let me guess, he was a drunk illegal alien.
No, he wasn't. But he was towing this big-ass boat with a big inboard-outboard unit, and I had followed him on the highway for about 20 miles, and I finally said, as soon as we get through the toll gate, I can get out in the left lane and pass him and be on my way. So we go up to the toll lane, and they have these lanes we call Easy Pass, where instead of money, you have a little transponder in the windshield.
Right.
Well, he pulled, and you're supposed to roll through. There's no ticket. You don't have to stop. And he gets up to the toll booth, and I'm about 5 car lengths behind him, and he slows down, which is normal for going through, and then he stops before he goes through. So he stopped, so I stopped, about 5 car lengths behind him. I go, what the hell? Why is he stopped? Next thing I know, I have this optical illusion like I'm rolling forward into him, like I didn't have my foot on the brake. So I step on the brake harder, but it wasn't me rolling towards him. It was him rolling back to me. He was backing up because he wanted to get out of the toll booth because he didn't have an Easy Pass transponder. And it's a $30 fine if you go through without a transponder. Well, he didn't look before he backed up.
Well, that'll cost more
The
than
whole
30
front end of
bucks.
my car. Totaled me. I was so pissed. I still am. I'll never forgive him. I mean, I got lucky I wasn't hurt, and the insurance company gave me more money than the car was worth. It was 12 years old, 138,000 miles. But still, I took good care of it. I put tires, front end work, brake work. You know, I kept on top of it all these years. And son of a bitch.
You saw my Saturn at Rodex, right?
Yeah.
That car, it's worth nothing. I mean, the blue book on it's like $3,500, even though I paid 15 or 16,000 for it, and I've had it since it was new.
Yeah.
It's got 90,000, little less than 90,000 miles on it,
Yeah.
and there's no dents, scratches. It's in 100% perfect shape. If that thing was totaled, I'd get screwed because they'd never replace it.
That's right. That's right. So the good thing is the insurance. I was going to sell it private, and I went on Kelley Blue Book, and they said that I could maybe get $4,500 out of it, $4,800, and I was going to sell it to my friend's father, and then when they did the workup on what they were going to give me, because it was in good shape, they gave me almost $5,500.
Problem is, what are you going to get for $5,500?
But that's the problem. So now I got to go. I just had to go buy a new car.
See, I couldn't replace my Saturn for $5,500.
Well, the same thing. Even if I took another grand out of my pocket and went for 6,500, 7,000, and looked for a high mileage late model Camry, what am I going to get? Somebody else's problems that he didn't do the struts and he didn't change the oil and he didn't this and he didn't that, and I'll never know.
And my car has 4 new tires on it, all new brakes.
Yeah.
Change the oil every 3,000 miles. New headlight bulbs.
Yeah. So here's a question. Here's a good question for you. So I'm ordering a new car. They're going to deliver it this week. I got a Subaru Forester. So I'm reading, and I'm looking. They're trying to sell you this deal where they want money to put some kind of sealant on the paint to make the paint last.
That paint protection?
Yeah, paint sealant. So I'm researching it, and I'm finding out what I need to spend that money. You go down to the auto parts place, and you buy all these high-ass and, sealing systems, paint systems from Meguiar's and all that. So I'm looking at all that, and I'm thinking, well, two things. It sounds like that's the way to put a coat of protection and seal this polymer sealing coat over the paint job, which is what I plan to do. And they say the car collector people use it, and so I've been educating myself about it. And then I said, is anybody in our hobby using that stuff?
Go over to Wendy's house. He'll fix you up.
Oh, I bet he will.
I mean, if anybody knows anything about it, it's Wendy, and I wouldn't put that shit on my car.
Really?
Just
No.
I mean, the alternative is just going back to old school and putting a good coat of car.
Right.
Way to go.
You already got urethane on it,
I know. So I'm not sure what to do, but I got to, I want to do something to keep it
Money on
clean.
that coating. Don't do that.
You got Wendy's phone number, right? Call Wendy.
All right. That's what I'll have to do.
Yeah, Wendy would know better than anybody.
Yeah.
That's really, it's really a shame that he's out of this hobby.
It is. You're right.
The Wendy's out of it?
Oh yeah.
I want if you have that interview, I want to ask him if he's going to go to the Garden State Circle Burner contest. There's a contest coming up in September. He ought to just show up just to say hi.
Well, I thought he'd go to Brodax just to say hi. You know,
No.
he didn't.
Yeah. Did he ever say he might?
No.
No.
He got really mad at the control line guys. From what
Really?
I understand, yeah.
What? How come he got a bug up his ass? What happened?
Well, in my opinion, I think that they've treated him unfairly. But listen, you know what I'm talking about here. New Yorkers they get a bad rap. They supposedly have a bad attitude. Well,
Yeah.
that's just bullshit.
He's a New Yorker. He's a Jersey man.
Same thing.
You can't be from Jersey and say you're from New York.
New Jersey, New York, same place. He's like 10 miles apart or whatever.
Well, from the city, yeah, but I'm in New York, but I'm 200 miles north of him.
Yeah, but you're a country boy. You're
Yes.
you're on the farmland.
I am. I'm a country boy, is right.
I know. But Wendy might as well be a New Yorker. So I just call him a New Yorker. But he's got that attitude, like, hey, this is how it is. You don't like it, tough shit.
That's true. Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that.
And I'm from Los Angeles originally, so I can deal with that, and I would rather deal with that than somebody bullshit.
Yeah. Where'd you live in Los Angeles?
West Covina.
West Covina? I lived in the San Fernando Valley for 13 years.
I was born in Pasadena and raised in West Covina, and after the Navy, I went to the Salton Sea. You know where that is? Did you ever know Walt Pyron? No.
No?
No. I mean, I've seen his work.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say if you haven't seen his work, you can find it online. He's got there's pictures of some of the most beautiful airplanes on this earth.
Are you talking about Walt Prey?
Yeah, that's who I mean. Yeah, Walt Prey.
Yeah.
He lived right near me, and first I met him at I think it's Sepulveda, at the field at Sepulveda, and then later on I was out one night getting groceries, and he had that '57 Chevy panel truck.
Yeah.
With the flames. And I saw it in the parking lot, and I recognized it. And I hung around till he came out of the store. And I started talking to him, and I said, "We're neighbors. Holy shit! Can I come over? Can you show me, a couple of pointers on painting and stuff?" But we never got it together.
I used to hang out with Tom Worden and Rob Gow, those Bill Noyes, those guys at Whittier Narrows.
Yeah, you flew at Whittier Narrows. I went down there towards the end before I moved back.
And well, Bill Noyes, he's in his 80s. He contacted me. He sent me an email. He might be watching this, but he won't ever talk. The problem was he was hard of hearing, so he doesn't hear well.
Yeah.
So we probably won't get to talk to him. But he designed the Pisces and the Challenger, and this is late '60s.
Yeah.
And that's back. I was watching the 1948 model airplane contest, and they used to be a big deal. They had bleachers filled with people.
Oh yeah. Well, that was in New York. They had the Mirror Meet.
Right.
From the New York, there was a newspaper called the New York Mirror, like the Post, the Daily News. The third one was the Mirror, and they used to have a thing called the Mirror.
Right, now model airplane is like nothing.
Well, I owe the hobby a whole lot because I never would have had a career as I have in engineering and everything else had I not been, snapped up to model airplanes as a kid. And even today, the stuff I work on, and I'm still working, we build a lot of welded stuff, okay? And when I put together welding and I get out with the guys in the shop and this and that, it's like, hey, we got to cut it and trim it and fit it. And it's like, how do you know all that? I said, for myself, I said, because I learned about how to fit wood and balsa wood and build a straight wing. And it's no different, except that when it comes time, you can't put a little cyano in there. You got to get out your MIG welder or your TIG welder.
Let me tell you a story. After Brodax, I was going to go visit my Navy SEAL buddy in Chesapeake Bay, Virginia.
Yeah.
That's kind of a long. I had to leave Brodax and go. You know, I had a week between Brodax and the Nationals.
Yep.
So I was going to go to Chesapeake Bay and visit with Don Shipley.
Yeah.
And I decided, nah, that's just too far out of the way. So I'll go the other way, go towards, you know, the Nats. And so Jerry Hopp, he said, well, stop by Dayton. So I went by Dayton, Ohio, and I worked for him for 4 days. Well, he paid me to work for him, so I made a little extra money, and he was doing wheelchair vans. Now this van is $100,000 van. Jerry doesn't know me from Adam as far as my work ethic goes, except that I was a master service technology technician for Harley Davidson. Well, so he says, I'm gonna go back here with the mechanic back here and you help him. So I go back there with the mechanic and I'm pushing this guy. Let's go, let's go. We did this job that normally takes him 2 weeks or a week or whatever. We did it in 3 days. And, here I am. Here, take the saw, and I'm cutting on this body and cutting holes here and there in this van to turn it into a wheelchair lift van.
Yeah.
So I didn't think much of it, but I see him at the Stunt Nats about, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks after that, because I had to go to the scale Nats and then come back to the Stunt Nats. And the thing that made me feel real good, and Jerry's probably going to watch this, and thanks a lot, Jerry, he says that the mechanic told him that he has never seen a piece of wood cut to fit a hole that tight. I mean, and I didn't think it was that good, because it was probably a 1/16 of an inch off. I wanted it a little closer.
Yeah.
All the way around, I had to fill this hole. And And so it was a 1/16 of an inch all the way around. I wanted it like a 32nd of an inch. I said, that's what we got. So.
Yeah. Wow.
But I asked him, I said, man, that's a lot of faith for you to say, well, here, and I'm building him an airplane up here, and I'm going to work on it this week because I got this far enough along. When I get a coat of clear on it, it'll have to start drying. So I'll work on his airplane again. I'm going to deliver it back to him in Dayton, and I'm going to work for him for a week or two. So.
Yeah.
But, so if you know model airplanes and if you're good with your hands or whatever, it doesn't matter whether it's a van, an airplane. I was an aviation structure mechanic. It doesn't matter.
Right.
An airplane, a car, it doesn't matter. A ship, whatever.
You're absolutely right.
I can read it. You ask a kid nowadays, say, I want a piece of wood 15 and 3/16 long. And they'll come back, well, I cut it 3 times and it's still too short. Yeah, because you can't read the damn thing.
That's right. Absolutely.
I was looking for, some vernier calipers. Here, read this. Read a micrometer. Nobody can tell you. You can't read that. If you look at this stupid math they got today, the Common Core math, shit, you couldn't figure nothing out that way.
That's what's wrong with the world.
They want to count up. Look, buddy, you can't count up in fractions like that. You got to subtract. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, you go to a store, like even if you go to a fast food joint, and you give them, say your order's $8.30, and you give them $10.30, they're done. It's like their whole
They
system
can't make change.
just shut down. They get the deer in the headlights look, and you're sitting there, really?
That's right. Unbelievable.
And that's decimal. I mean, that's like metric. It's money is easy.
Well, a lot of times in the store, I'll say, and you owe me $3.67. Hand it, you owe me $3.67.
In Canada, we made it easier. We eliminated the penny. So, I mean, you round it off to 5, right?
Holy shit.
They can't even do that. So.
You owe me $3.65. Here, let me give it up.
Yeah, if a machine ain't telling them what to do, they're done. They're just system shut down. Yeah. I still use a pencil and paper, for Christ's sake, when I'm scratching away at math. Yeah. Of course, in school, when I was in school, which is a lot later than you guys, but you got caught with a calculator, they kicked you out and you had to sit in the friggin' hallway. Everything was done with a pencil and paper.
When I was in school, we had no calculators. We had slide rules.
I had a slide rule. I still have it.
Yeah.
I took it just for shits and giggles where I work. I went into some meeting and I carried it in there, and then they were talking about this and then talking about that. And I said, let me figure it out. And I whip out this slide rule, and all the kids are looking, what the hell?
Well, I'm going to go one better than that, and most people don't know this. Now, this is not a framing square. This is just a square. But if you get a framing square, a regular carpenter's 3-foot framing square, if you take a piece of wood and you line it up from this mark here to this mark here, you know, if you want to subtract 9 from 17, you go 9. It'll give you the answer right on the framing square.
Yeah.
It'll add, subtract, multiply, divide. Most people don't know that.
I didn't know that.
Wow. How come on the image I have of you, it's got this little circle and it's got the checkerboard nose of one of your planes?
Let me turn maybe my camera's off. I'm not sure.
I can see you clear.
Now,
Gone.
now I have an image. But I didn't see that frame. Now I got the red airplane. Now I got the circle.
That's on your end.
It's on my end.
Yeah.
Maybe my signal isn't.
Yeah, I can see you fine. You've been
Maybe
kicking
it's
in and
buffering.
out
Maybe it's buffering.
because we lost you a couple of times. I couldn't hear you.
Must be buffering. I'm on my phone.
I
think next time we do this, I'm going to do it on I got one of those Chromebook laptops.
You need a holder.
That camera you got there, Sparky, is that linked to your desktop or whatever through Wi-Fi or?
No, it's on. I have a 15-foot USB extension cord.
Yeah.
Why, is there a problem with it?
No, it's probably a hell of a lot better than me using this iPad. I was thinking,
This is a Logitech HD 1080p 900, I don't know, super cam or whatever. It's got a real crystal clear picture.
yeah, it certainly does. Because like after we were done last night, I watched this again on YouTube. I was thinking, yeah, the iPad, it works, but it's not very good. So if we're going to be doing this lots, I might go tomorrow and see if I can get one of those cameras. I'll probably need at least 15 feet to get to my desktop.
I have I started, when I started doing all this video crap, I invested in a bunch of camera equipment, so I bought light stands, and it's just screwed onto the top of the light stand so I can move the light stand around the room.
Oh, yeah. I got a camera stand I use, but it probably wouldn't fit on that thing.
Hey, Sparky, I got a different question.
Okay.
Remember when I was talking to you at Brodex, we had a conversation about a certain individual that was not responding to his commitment of swapping out an engine that I swapped with him?
To be honest, I remember something about that, yeah, but I don't remember who it was.
Well, it was Bill Little.
Oh, right, okay.
So anyway, I just heard from him this week after I put a thing up on the hanger of memorandums. He private messaged me and he said, "Oh, again, apologies, blah blah blah, and I can't get to the post office to send the package and blah blah blah." So I was gonna call him. He gave me his phone number, but I felt I'll give him a little time to go to the post office one more time. But I don't know where he lives down there in North Carolina to say, is there anybody in the hobby that lives near you that could drive by and pick it up, and then I'll give that guy some money, and he can go to the post office and make a package and send me the damn engine.
Well, according to Bill's post, he's had some kind of, I don't know, mental block or whatever, so he's kind of been out of the hobby for the last 6 months or whatever.
Yeah.
And I understand that, you know.
I do too. That's why I didn't make a stink about, oh, he stuck me and he hung me out to dry, like remember there was somebody else that was complaining. I didn't want to put his name out. I didn't want to write, and I haven't written nothing bad. And I just keep saying, Bill, remember me, remember me. And he writes me a private message. Oh, I feel so bad. I feel so bad. But this is going on since last January. So
Well,
I was thinking if there was somebody that lives nearby that visits him every now and then, I could get in touch with that person and say, look, do me a favor. Take that engine off out of his house, take it to the post office and put it in a box with my address on it, and I'll send you the postage
I don't
money.
I don't know who lives over there. He lives, I think, Aberdeen.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to remember where everybody lives.
So I thought when I was at Brodax and I was talking to Zambelli, I think Zambelli is near him.
No. Zambelli's Florida, too. You still there?
Looks like he piled up there. Yeah, he's jammed up. I don't think he has a very good signal there.
Yeah, but at least he's on board. He had a hard time getting straightened out, but I know he'll be back. We can have a larger BS session, and during the winter, I think this is going to be, a good way to stay in touch.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this winter my primary goal is going to be Big Bird here, but I do have a stunt ship I picked up and built. It just has to be finished. I don't even know what it's called, but it's got a foam core wing on it. And the way they set it up is to take an LA 46 with the pipe comes out and it goes back in so you can put a tuned pipe on the thing.
Let me see it. Can you hold it up?
I'll take her down here. Yeah, tighten my knot so that it won't undo itself.
I see you got a camera stand right there.
This one, yeah. Yeah, I do a few YouTube videos down here. But that's just a camcorder. God damn, is this thing ever light? I have to take one of these racks down because it's always on my way here.
That looks like a windy airplane.
Yeah, guy was working on it, and they gave up on her. It's nicely done.
Let me see the tips, the wing tips. That looks like a Cardinal, a windy airplane.
Yeah, it could be.
Do you know what motor it takes?
This one's set up for an LA-46.
Yeah.
And you can see where they cut the nose. So the pipe goes in out the side and then back in for a tuned pipe on the bottom.
My phone died, but I'm back.
It takes this header right here.
Yeah, actually I got that header with it, yeah. And it came with the airplane. I got another bag of parts, the vertical fin and everything's in the
Can you hear me?
bag of parts.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay.
I should weigh this thing.
That right there weighs 28 ounces.
Without the fin.
28. That's my guess.
Something's wrong here.
Hey, I got to say good night because I got to get up early.
All right, Lyle, you have a good night.
Hey, this was fun. We'll be in touch.
All right.
All right, buddy. Bye.
So what do we got for weight?
Must the fin 22.25.
That's light.
Yeah, as soon as I picked it up, I said, wow. Yeah. I will get there's a bag of parts came with her.
Are the flaps on it?
The flaps are on it, yeah.
That's real light.
And they looks like they used 16th inch ply tabs just to mount them. So I'll be building a new one of those. Looks like somebody got oil all over it.
Yes. Let me see the back half of the rudder. Let me turn you on here. No, that's not a Cardinal. Must be just his own design.
Could be, yeah. 22.5 with that. There's that header.
Right.
Good. Bought this off Bruce Perry, who was selling it for some other fella.
What'd you have to give for it?
I forget now what it was, 80 or 100 bucks.
You got a good deal.
I think it was around 100 bucks. I included this. The rest of this stuff is pretty much just crap. This isn't crap. This is a bag of carbon fiber.
2/10 or 5/10?
It doesn't say. That would be, looks like it's about
2/10 you can see through real easy.
I can see through that real easy. Yeah, that's 2/10. I've never used this stuff. Got some X-Acto carving blades. Look at a bag full of crap here. No idea what this is for. Something else, I guess. So I was thinking on, when I get tired of working on the heath, I'd be working on this.
So 3 coats of clear dope, silk span it up, 4 more coats of clear dope, put the super fillets in it, prime it up, paint it.
Yeah, I bought some of that super fill. I was watching you using that stuff, so I went down to the unfortunately the guy retired and they closed it. It was a aircraft supply place, and I bought some dope and stuff, Randolph stuff from him, and I bought a jug of that super fill.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I have yet to use it. This Cardinal I'm building, it's kind of a half scratch built, half. It's an ARF wing I picked up year before last, I think. I stripped the covering out of it. I fixed the ribs. And I just cut out a fuselage, and I got to cut out a tail for it. Because like I said, I buy these things because their lifespan's kind of limited with me trying to learn stunt. I was going to try that super fill and make a gusset on that profile. Just
do it like I showed on the video.
Yeah. So you dope it up first to harden the wood, eh?
I silk span and everything. Because if you don't, when you go to sand them in, you know, the super fill is harder than the wood. You end up digging a trough in it. So you harden the wood up, makes a real nice radius.
Yeah, it looks like they put epoxy resin or something on this wing joint.
Yeah, that's fine.
And they gotta shim the wood in there. It's got a bushed flap horn. And they took an evil chunk out of the side for the push rod. It's got a narrow shaft push rod in it.
Ball links on the controls.
No, it's got the Dubro clevis.
Oh man, throw that out. Make sure you change that out.
Yeah, I got a bunch of ball links up here, 440 and 256.
440 ball links or 3/32 wire. No Dubro quick links.
That's what I've been
Well,
doing.
I think I'm gonna go to bed. I told you I didn't feel all that good.
Yeah, it looks like you're yawning up a bit of a storm there. I'm hoping I have all these damn engines done tonight.
Yeah.
I just converted this little guy to our control line. It's a little LA-15.
You don't happen to have a muffler for an OS FP40, do you? Tongue muffler?
Yeah, I do. I do. I was just going through this stuff today, getting organized.
The only problem is you're in Canada and it probably costs more for duty than it does for me to buy one here.
Depends on how you, so if it's made in the United States, there's no duty. Not supposed to be anyway.
Yeah,
Something like that, you just stick it in the mail.
this is an OS 32F helicopter motor,
Oh yeah.
and I changed them over. I used to run these in my Vipers, so I decided it took a long time to get this motor, but I was one of the original guys that run this on a pipe, and so I thought I'd just get one of these and put a tongue muffler on it and build this smoothie that I got here.
Might be a little heavy.
No.
Our smoothies, we put the Brodak 40s in them. And they're way lighter than the OS engine. I put tongue muffler on mine.
Yeah, but the Brodak motor doesn't have the power of that 32F.
No, it wouldn't, but it's got ample power for the smoothie. Mine anyway, because it's so damn light. There's two of us flying the same plane, and we both come in pretty much the same weight. His was a couple ounces heavier because he put a muffler on it, and I stuck a tongue muffler on mine. But,
Well, as I stated, I think I'm going to sign off. And I'll be back tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, our normal time. And hopefully I can hang on for 2 hours instead of an hour and 45 minutes. But
and that engine you say is a 32?
32F, yeah.
And the 40 tongue muffler will fit it, eh?
Oh, yeah.
I have a couple of them here.
Send me a message on the forum. I'll send you my address.
Alrighty.
I don't want to say it over the air
Oh,
here.
I wouldn't. That's certainly not. Yeah. Alrighty, I'll let you go then. Got me looking at this thing now.
Yeah. I just don't have the ambition tonight. So I'll see you tomorrow. Till I see you again, fair winds, tight lines. See ya.
Take care, man.